Niggas better watch out now. Hey, l'argent qu'a fait, carré pour ça n'importe manière. Ça ou fait, ça ou ouais. Panita pour gaspiller les pièces, bagaille qui pas faire chasse pour je know. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Versace, Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Cabrile, bam. Pisse mes vieux vivent la vie privée. Éduqué comme moi, copouette. Mais ma caille me dit, bah, ils autres, c'est trendset, clever trendset.
What's up, y'all? You know it's your boy Jay Reed coming out with another BKC episode. So today we're gonna be talking a little bit more about selection. When I say selection, I'm not just talking about a breeder like what you're looking for or my selection. You know, I'm just talking about generally, you know. Roxy and Smoke out there. Yeah, these guys out there hunting. Yeah, that's what they do from time to time, you know. I drop them out and they go out hunting for mongoose. Yeah, they got a few bodies already, you know. You have to be extra careful with them because, you know, these are rodents, but the dogs have to play. Dogs have to play. Yeah, but these guys, Roxy and Smoke, you don't want to mess with them. Right now they're on the prowl. They're in the grass hunting, and that's kind of their thing, you know. So show you a little bit more about that, a little bit more of that in a moment. Yeah, but today we're going to talk about selection. You know, a lot of people out there go out and purchase dogs only because they're looking for the best price. Not the right way to go, guys. Remember, you got to consider that these are dogs that are going to be with you for hopefully over 10 years, you know. And depending on what your selection is going to be, they're probably not going to be there for 10 years. But, you know, you have to make sure that you're making the right choice when you're going out for dogs. And it's not just about the pricing, you know. It's about the quality of dog that you get in. Mathematically, it just makes sense to pay for what you want rather than buy what you can afford. Might as well just stay without until you have enough to get the best, or at least close to the best, or at least what you're looking for, you know. Yeah, so B.K.C, we're about to make it happen. What's up, y'all? You know it's your boy Jay Reed. Just had to reiterate that. And today we're going to be talking about buying an American bully puppy for breeders, the BKC way, guys. So you guys can go about it however you want. You know, I just wanted to share my method of how we do things at the BKC as a new upcoming kennel. So I figure maybe you guys might want to hear it from a growing kennel, especially if you're going to be starting your kennel. So at least you can see the steps that we followed before jumping into the game. This is also going to be for the guys looking to revamp what they already got. So I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to jump straight into part 1. And we're going to be talking about the 5 W's. So what these 5 W's are going to do is guide you as to how to go about being a successful dog breeder. So let's jump straight into it. So the first topic we're going to talk about is the why, guys. And I want to go through this very quickly with you. The first thing that people always say is that, hey, if you're only in this for the money, then it's not going to work. And I agree with that 100%. But remember, the key word there is only. It doesn't mean that you can't be in it for the money. At the end of the day, you breeding dogs, you got expenses that will come with that. So you got to make sure that you're getting that return. So that way you can handle your business, whether it's for profit or whether it's just for, you know, the bully game or the dog breeding game. So make sure that you're in this for the money. That is the one, that's one of the first things, right? But it's actually the last option. The second option we're going to talk about is to create. Some people go into breeding to create. You know, you hear some people talking about bettering the breed, and that's the kind of guys that you know who actually start creating lines and whatnot. You know, like you hear about the Gotti line, Remy line, you know, and the list goes on. So if you're in it for creation as well, that's one of the reasons why people would get into breeding. And the third option, of course, you know, is for love. You know, that's one of the main things, the main reason why people get into breeding, and it should be the first and foremost reason why you go into breeding is because you love dogs. If you don't have love for dogs, if you don't have love for the American bully, then you won't be a success because you never have that emotional side to make your dogs grow into their 100% capability. So at the end of the day, guys, if we don't have all three of these checked out, if we don't have all three of these checked out, then of course we're not going to be successful. So you got to make sure you keep all three of these in mind. You know, whether you're going to create or not, I think that will be the only one that's 50-50, because some people go into the game without wanting to create, but just going into it for the love. As always, I want to encourage you, if you got this far, to make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and also follow us on Instagram at Bloodline Kennel Club. Of course, that's on Facebook as well. So we're moving on to the next. What type of breed are you going to go into as a breeder? In this case, we're going to be talking about American Bully. And just to jump straight into it, you know, the American Bully has 4 recognized classes, which is the Pocket, Classic, Standard, and XL. We also have the Micro and Double XL. It's not recognized as yet, but also doing pretty well in the game. So you got to know exactly what you're going to go for. So when you think of structure, height, and so on, you got to focus on the class of bully that you're going to go for. So that takes us to, you know, the next topic, you know, as far as the what is concerned, is what colors are you looking for? You know, what genetics are you looking for in your dogs and the breedings that you're going to be doing, or what you want to stand out for. So some of the more popular ones that we would have would be the blues, the tris, the blacks, and even the moles, even though they're not recognized as yet. But I just wanted to touch base on everything, guys. So you got to make sure that you have that down. Another thing that people do is that they go straight into a bloodline, and that's another way of going about it really quickly, so that way you have the ease of, you know, people knowing already what's there and what's existing in your camp, because these are popular names like the Razor's Edge, the Gotti line, you know, Remy line, and also Dax line, you know. So once you have that in your camp, then people already know, and it's already approved by the bully world, so you're already aiming for success. So who are you going to be buying from, guys? So you got to consider, you know, how well do you know your seller? What do you know about your seller and his kennel or her kennel? So make sure you do your research. Make sure you find out the reputation of your seller, you know, how well they keep their dogs, you know, what's the success, what's the history of their production, you know, the production of the sire, the dam. You make sure you have all of this in mind, you know. So you want to know if they're producers, if they got a good reputation, and also the living conditions, because, you know, these are puppies and they could carry out a lot of diseases, you know, out of an existing kennel. So you got to think of that as well. There's a number of things that could happen because of the living conditions of the dogs. Also, you know, you don't want to buy a dog from someone who's not taking care of their puppies. You know, that just brings down the standard of the entire bully breeding game. So I don't condone it, guys. Where? So let's talk about where you're going to put the puppy when you get the puppy. So you make sure you have a stable physical kennel in hand before you get your puppy, unless you're going to be putting them in a house for now. That also comes with its work. So make sure that you have a good home for the dogs. Make sure it's secure, make sure it's durable, make sure you got enough space for them as well. I mentioned secure because you bring over this nice bully, you know, and you follow all of the right steps, people are going to be eyeballing your dog. If your dog is not microchipped, then you're in problems. You want to make sure it's durable as well, because these are puppies, they play around, they bite stuff, so you want to make sure that it's fit for the puppy, or if you're going to have them growing up, you know, inside that kennel, make sure it's fit for the dog. When we talk about wear, guys, also another thing I want to touch base on is getting a play area for your dogs. You might not have it right away, but make sure you have it in mind, you know, to set up a play area. You don't want to be considered a backyard breeder, guys, so make sure you have growth in mind to grow your kennel. Currently, right now, if you don't have anything going on, make sure you get your dogs a proper exercise that they need, training. But another reason why you would want to have that play area is because it also makes it very attractive, you know, to a quality buyer out there, because a quality buyer is going to want to see these things, want to see the dogs exercise, want to know that the dogs are actually, you know, having fun and also well trained as well. So you want to make sure that you have that down. Okay, guys? Now, lastly, guys, what we're going to talk about is when do you buy your American Bully puppy to get your kennel started off as a breeder? So first things first, you have to have a set plan, which is basically what we've been talking about today. The W's, the 5 W's. Make sure you have that down, or make sure you at least have the plan down to get everything started. So if you have to do it in phases, you know, especially for the wear, like I mentioned, you know, getting the play area, then you do it in phases, but make sure you stick to it. Okay, that's very important. You stick to the plan. Another thing that you're going to be wanting when it comes to the when is, of course, the initial investment. You know, you can't do anything without money nowadays. So, of course, you got to purchase the puppy. You got to consider the cost of that puppy, the cost to feed that puppy. There's a lot of medical, you know, that comes into the health of that puppy, especially in the first year of you having that pup. You got vaccines to worry about. You got to make sure that the dog is healthy with the right dewormers, vitamins, you know, throughout that first year. As you know, with the bully, they would grow in height up until 12 months naturally. And then from there, you know, they start to expand. So you want to make sure in that first year that they have the right bone structure, everything is going well, and they're growing healthy. So that's going to cost you, as well as the housing as well. Earlier, we spoke about the kennel. We spoke about the play area. You know, we spoke about all of these things, you know, which is going to cost you money at the end of the day. So you make sure that you have all of that covered as far as the when. Another thing that we'll be talking about is time. If you don't have time, guys, this is not for you. This is a full-time job. And you have a puppy, you know, you need to be feeding this guy or this girl, you know, 3 times a day. Also, you want to make sure that you potty training your dogs, because of course, you know, these are puppies. You're probably not going to have them outside right away, you know, especially if you don't have the area set up as yet. So you gotta be training that puppy, you know, maybe using a small crate. You know, that's a great way to start potty training. But then again, you have to be hands-on all the time. Also socializing as well, you know, once the dog has all of his vaccines or her vaccines, you know, you want to make sure you socializing this dog, you know, because this is a breed that you want to make sure that is away. You know, you kind of want to stay away from the status quo. You know, people talking about pit bulls and American bullies, like they're exactly the same thing. When these dogs have a very good temperament. But again, you know, these are dogs, so you want to make sure that the dog is socializing, you know, not just with people, but also with other dogs as well. Hey, so that's about the end of part 1, guys. So make sure you follow those 5 W's when you're getting into the bully game. Just keep it in mind. So this is going to conclude part 1 of buying an American bully puppy for breeders. You know, it was your boy Jay Reed with B.K.C. Again, make sure if it's your first time coming in here that you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, and we'll have some more heat coming for you soon.
L'argent qu'a fait, qu'a des pouces à n'importe manière. Ça ou fait, ça ou ouais. Panita pour gaspiller les pièces, bagaille qui pas faire chasse pour jeune homme. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Versace, Nike, Adidas, Clax, Cabriolet, bam. Pisse mes vieux vivent la vie vieille. Éduqué comme moi, copote. Mais ma caille me dit, bah, ils autres, c'est trendset,